Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to do an October wrap up today. I ended up reading 5 books. That's it, you guys. I think that's the lowest book count I've had for the entire year. So you remember those 5 books that I had picked for my TBR trim video, the physical books that I wanted to get to in October? Did I get to all 5 of them? No. Did I get to 4 of them? No. I didn't get to any of them, you guys. I didn't get to any of them. Now, I did mention in that video that I wasn't sure I was going to get to any of them. I'm not sure that I'll get to any of them. My hope was that I would get to one, but I never stated that I would finish them. So in all fairness, okay, all of the books I read were library books. So let's do a recap on what I did end up reading. The first book I read in October was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I was really anticipating this read, and I ended up really enjoying it. I gave it a 4.25, which was pretty on par with what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a 4-star book. I've seen the movie, loved the movie, which is why I was really anticipating the book. I do think the book was very hard-hitting in the imagery it painted and the prose that it was done in. It was really everything I could want in kind of a post-apocalyptic world and story. It was very unconventional in style, the way that it was written, but it works. It works for this book, and I think it's something that sets this book apart, and you would dive into this book for that reason, to experience this stylistic writing. With that said, Mr. Cormac McCarthy, he has an extremely poetic prose, which I loved. I loved that in this book. However, there's certain times where the poetry is just like epic poetry, like it's highly poetic. And so a lot of that, like, I didn't care to like look behind the curtain to see what he was trying to say. Like, I just kind of read the words for what they were, and I didn't look into any hidden meaning behind it. I didn't really care for that. I just wanted to continue on with the book. So that felt a little out of place in the story for me. I appreciated the poetic prose, but when it got to the really epic poetry bits, I didn't care, to be perfectly honest. So, and I love poetry, but like, I wasn't really expecting that to be in this book. So that was that. I did have a really hard time getting into the groove of reading this book. It just wasn't clicking for me at first. I couldn't get into the style of writing, and it just was taking me out of the story. So something I did do, and something that really helps me often when I struggle to get into a book, I put on a little ambiance. Honestly, you guys, I think I searched up end of the world ambiance, and I think what popped up was like post-apocalyptic scenes with instrumental music to match. So very dark, dreary vibes. It's perfect. So that really set the tone for me, and once I had that, it changed the entire reading experience. So just a little tip: if you ever struggle to get into a book, maybe you could try that. Or if you struggle to get into this one specifically, maybe try that as well. Do you have to envelop yourself in darkness, death, and destruction to read this book? No, but it certainly helps. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. Make sure you check trigger warnings before getting into this one. It's not a light read, it's heavy, but I would recommend it. The next book I read was Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood, and I included this book in my Halloween reading vlog, along with 3 others that I'm going to mention in this video. I was so disappointed with this one, you guys. It ended up being a 3.25 star for me, which is not bad in and of itself, but I really just didn't have the best time with this book, and I was so looking forward to it. I thought it was going to be right up my alley, but yeah, it just didn't work for me. I really enjoyed it in the very beginning of the book, but then as it went along and we got farther in, I just started to get annoyed with the characters, and it just felt like the plot was moving really slow, and yeah, it just overall ended up being a flop for me. I did still give it a 3.25, but yeah, it didn't work for me. So the book is about this witch named Belle. She's about to turn 30, and on her 30th birthday, she has to go through a witch trial in order to be judged if she is able to keep her powers or not. So that's the premise of the story, and that was what the book was about. So there's nothing inherently wrong with the story. There's really no reason that I can say it was a bad book, because it wasn't. It just did not work for me personally. But it did have the vibes. I mean, Belle is a witch. She works at a bookstore. This book takes place in the month of October, so it really does have like the fall, autumnal, Halloween vibes. If that's what you're looking for, give this one a try. The third book I read was Horseman, A Tale of Sleepy Hollow by Christina Henry. I love Christina Henry, but this one did not work for me. This was the first Christina Henry book that I can genuinely say I disliked. I haven't loved all of her books, but I've liked the majority of them. So this came as a shock. Now, to be fair, my memory of the original Legend of Sleepy Hollow is awful. I remember the highlights of it. But from what I do remember, I did not like the reimagining that Christina Henry did in this one. I think there were some great things that she did in the book. I think she highlighted some really sensitive topics that are important to bring up. But that was really it. I think the issues that she highlighted ended up becoming the plot of the book, and I felt like the Horseman tale ended up becoming the subplot in all of that. So I really did not like that. Again, I didn't like the way that the legend was reimagined. So it just overall did not work for me. It did have the vibes. It had the spooky vibes. I will say that. I liked the world and the setting. But yeah, I wasn't a fan really of the characters, and yeah, this one was just a flop for me. So if you have read Christina Henry and you've read this book and liked it, I'm so happy for you. Maybe tell me what you like, why you liked it. Maybe you can change my mind a little bit so I can see it from a different perspective. But yeah, I was not a fan of this one. It also read like a YA book to me. Didn't like it. I did not like it. The next book I read was The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling, which is the third and final book in the Gravesglen series. I've talked about it on my channel before. The Ex-Hex is the first book. I adore that book. It's one of my comfort reads for the fall time. I didn't get to reading it this year, but I did read the final book in the series, so that one is completed. I gave this one a 3-star, which sounds low. It's not low. I had a fantastic time reading this, you guys. It's not going to be a book that's really memorable for me. It's probably just going to leave my mind. It's not as great as The Ex-Hex. The Ex-Hex for me is still number one, but I loved it. I laughed. I thought the plot was really good in this one, actually. I enjoyed that. This was probably my favorite read of October. And the fifth and final book I ended up reading in October was Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. I ended up giving this book a 4-star. I thought this was a fantastic book. What I really liked about it is it has a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of mystery, romance, fantasy, there's some magical realism. It has everything. So I feel like you can enjoy this book no matter who you are. And I really did. This was my first Adrienne Young, and I'm a fan. I really liked her writing. The book was easy to read, kept me hooked. I got through this book pretty quickly. I wanted to keep reading and I didn't want to put it down. It had all the hallmarks of a good book for me. This one, it involves a murder. It takes place on an island. Like I said, there's magic involved. Yeah, I was invested. I was invested in the characters. I was invested in the plot. So it was really good. I would recommend it if you haven't picked up an Adrienne Young book, or this one in particular. I would give it a go. This was the perfect book to read in the month of October, and I'm so glad I was able to fit it in. So those were the 5 books I got read in October, you guys. Let me know in the comments below how your October reading month went and what your favorite seasonal read was. I hope you guys are all doing very well. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys for my next one. Bye!